All right, today we're diving into something pretty wild. It's a school that's decided to educate kids, not for the world we grew up in, but for the one that's just around the corner. This quote, it really gets right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? The founder of this school is pointing out a huge, gaping hole between what we learn in school and what we actually need to succeed. Millions of graduates are basically being set up to fail. So what happens when a school just throws out the entire rule book? I mean, seriously, forget exams, forget biology and math, forget everything you thought school was supposed to be. Well, that's exactly what one school in Pakistan did. Okay, so to really get why they went so extreme, we have to talk about the crisis they're facing. Look, this is a problem everywhere, but it's especially bad in places like Pakistan. You can have a degree, a piece of paper that says you're smart, but it often means nothing when it comes to actually getting a job. The founder, a guy named Rehan College, he saw this happening all around him. The education system was churning out graduates who were totally cut off from the rest of the world. You know, they couldn't speak English well, they couldn't use basic technology, and worst of all, they just didn't have the confidence to go out and build something for themselves.
So, right from that crisis, this radically new vision was born. The goal wasn't just to tweak the system or make slightly better students. No, the goal was to build the 1 in 250 million. That's the population of Pakistan. They wanted to create a leader, an innovator, someone who could literally change the future of the entire country.
And listen to the language here. The key word is building. This isn't about sitting in a classroom and memorizing dates. It's about giving kids the actual tools and, maybe more importantly, the mindset to go out and physically build a better Pakistan.
And this idea is the foundation for everything they do. Their core belief, every single kid has unlimited potential. But, and this is the big but, you don't unlock it by listening to lectures. You unlock it by doing. They're also diving headfirst into AI, not shying away from it. And they believe your character, who you are as a person, is way more important than any grade on a report card.
Okay, that all sounds great, right? But how do you actually make that happen? How does that translate into what a kid does every single day? Well, it starts by basically hacking the entire education system. I mean, just look at this breakdown. It's kind of insane. In a traditional school, you've got your STEM subjects. At Rehan School, no biology, no physics, no math. Gone. Instead of theory, kids spend 8 hours a day doing hands-on work. Instead of a teacher at the front of the room, AI is the guide. They're learning things like cooking, driving, even plumbing. It's a total flip of everything we know. And here's a perfect example of how this works in practice. So say a student needs to learn English and build a network. They don't go to English class, no. They find an expert they want to talk to on Facebook. They scrape that person's profile, feed it to ChatGPT, and say, "Give me 10 smart questions." Then, and this is the genius part, they ask ChatGPT to translate those questions into Roman Urdu so they can read them out loud perfectly. They conduct the interview in English. Imagine doing that 100 times. You're not just learning a language, you're building confidence and a global network of experts.
But look, this whole method isn't just about learning cool new skills for today. It's about a much, much longer journey. Every single student is set on a path to become what they call a walla. It's a special term for a specialist who dedicates their life to solving one huge world problem.
In Urdu, walla basically means the person associated with something. So you don't just study climate change, you become the climate change walla. It literally becomes your new identity, your mission. They even change their last name to it. And for years, everything they learn is focused through the lens of that one single problem.
And get this, the path is mapped out with just insane ambition. By year 2, these kids are expected to be earning more money than their parents. By year 5, they're launching their own digital startup focused on their walla topic. And the final goal? Exit that startup for at least $1 million. You literally don't graduate until you've done it. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like science fiction. Does this kind of radical transformation actually work in the real world? Well, let's meet Saima. And the interesting thing is, she wasn't even a student. She was a teacher from the old traditional system who came to work at the school. And just listen to what she said. "I came to know here that I too have a self, that myself also matters." Wow. For her, this wasn't just a job. It was the first place where she felt like she was more than just a wife or a mother. It was where she found her own identity. And the change wasn't just internal. We're talking about a woman who was literally afraid of technology. She didn't even have a Facebook account. Now, she's on Canva making designs. She's creating songs with AI, and she's confidently leading students. Think about that for a second. If the school can have that kind of impact on a grown woman stuck in her ways, just imagine what it can do for a child.
All right, so let's zoom out a bit. Sima's story is incredible proof that the method works on an individual level. But what's the big picture? What's the ultimate endgame for a school this disruptive?
Well, it boils down to these three things. The ultimate goal is to create 1,000 Malalas, 1,000 Greta Thunbergs, and 1,000 millionaires. It's a powerful combination, right? They're creating people who have a cause, a platform to spread their message, and the money to be truly independent and make real change.
And don't think this is just some tiny, weird experiment nobody's heard of. The world is starting to take notice. In 2024, Rehan School actually won an International Bold Award, which is given to innovative, and yeah, kind of crazy, projects that are making a real impact. So the establishment, they're starting to pay attention.
And that really brings us to the final big question, doesn't it? This school is a radical solution for a world that's being turned upside down by AI. And it kind of forces you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, if your education prepared you for a world that's already gone, what are you doing to get ready for the one that's coming?